evening, everyone. Welcome to this board meeting of the Nassau Interim Finance Authority. Before we start, I'll take a roll call, starting with, well, actually, why don't we start on the right? I'll introduce Rory. Go ahead.
Charo Esdrin.
John Zazzo.
Richard Kessel.
Rory Lantzman.
I want to introduce Rory. Rory was recently named by Governor Hochul to be vice chairman and a member of the board of the Nassau Interim Finance Authority. Rory, welcome. Good to have you.
Thank you very much.
Maybe you want to say a few words?
Just that I'm happy to be here. It's an honor to have been appointed by the governor, and so far in my dealings with my fellow board members, with Richie and the staff, I've just been nothing but impressed with the dedication, the commitment, and the expertise, and I look forward to hopefully contributing to our very, very important mission of protecting the finances of Nassau County.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Great. Thank you, Rory. With that, we'll go to our agenda. We have the approval of the minutes of the meeting on May 23rd. First, do I hear a motion?
Motion.
John, is there a second? I'll second it. Are there any comments about those minutes or corrections or omissions or additions? Hearing none, all those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? All right, the motion carries. We've got 3 contracts. Evan, do we want to take these 3 together with Martha?
Yes.
All right, so Martha Worsham, you please come up, and there are 3 county contracts. You would describe them, and then we can discuss and or vote on it.
There's 3 contracts. I would like to present 46224 first and the other 2 together, because the other 2 have the same scope.
Yes, exactly.
So, but all the contracts that are presented, excuse me, that are presented today are with the Department of Public Works. The vendors have been selected through an open competitive bidding process. The county expects to fund these contracts with capital proceeds. Approval of any of these contracts does not guarantee future borrowing authorization. Item number 462-24, RJ Industry, Inc. The contract with RJ Industry is valued at approximately $14.2 million. The term is 913 consecutive days from the notice to proceed. The contract services are for the project that includes the full pump rehabilitation of Morgan Park, Viola Drive, and Roslyn Village pump station, and the conversion of Nut Drive ejector station into a submersible pump station. Are there any questions?
Any questions on the part of the board? All right. Seeing none, I think we'll vote on this contract. Do I hear a motion to approve the contract?
Motion.
All right. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay, Rory? Any further comments or questions? Hearing none, all those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Okay. Martha, continue with the other 2 contracts, please.
Okay, items 43224, Hardesty and Hanover Construction Services, and 434-24, Lockwood, Kessler, and Bartlett. The county awarded a contract to the top 8 firms that submitted proposals for on-call services for the Highway Bridges Construction Unit in the Department of Public Works. Today, I'm presenting 2 contracts. 3 contracts were already approved by the NIFA Board of Directors on our last meeting on May 23rd. Each contract is valued at $5 million and has a term of 3 years from the commencement date, with up to 2 one-year renewal options. Are there any questions?
Any questions on the part of the board? Seeing none, do I hear a motion to adopt those 2 contracts?
Motion.
Okay. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay. Any further comments? If none, all those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Okay.
Before I sit down, I would like to thank Ken Arnold. Ken is retiring, and I believe this is your last meeting, right? Yes, it is. So I want to thank you for all your help and been working with you at the county and now at NIFA. Thank you so much for all your support.
Ken, as someone who's been around the county myself a few times, I want to congratulate you. You're a breath of fresh air. You've always been responsive to NIFA in the months that I've been here, but also in other circumstances. And I think you've provided a great service to the people of Nassau County, and I thank you. Really, you're a good guy, really good guy.
Thank you very much. It's been a pleasure working with everybody here.
Thank you. Okay, now we've got the hospital contract, and Carl, you'll present it, and then I think, Meg, you're going to come and speak to it? Okay, thank you.
Thank you and good evening.
Carl, just identify yourself for the record, please.
Yes, Carl Dreyer, Treasurer. You're being considered, asked to consider a contract extension with White Glove Placement, Inc., which is a $6 million one-year extension. The purpose of the contract is to provide registered nurses, practical nurses, aides at both Newmick and A. Holly Patterson, as well as technicians within the dialysis department. Again, this is one-year contract. The method of procurement was originally through an RFP, and the period again is March 1st to February 28th of 2025. Are there any questions?
I think Meg is going to make a presentation, and then we'll ask any questions
I think you covered it, Carl.
for either of you two.
I'm Meg Ryan. I'm the General Counsel, Nassau Healthcare Corporation, and the interim CEO. So this vendor has been with us since 2016. As the chairman said, it was brought in through an RFP. They also, not only do they provide services for staff at A. Holly Patterson and at Newmick, but also at the correctional facility as well. So they're everywhere in all aspects of the hospital except for the OR and central sterile. Some of the positions include RNs, LPNs, nurses aides, PCAs, surgical techs, medical assistants, and as Mr. Dreyer said, our dialysis technicians. They also help with the mandatory staffing that we must meet under the state law. Happy to say, though, that we have been decreasing each month since December the amount of staffing that we're using. We're trying to utilize in-house staff, and we're recruiting and trying to retain the workforce that we have, but unfortunately, we do need the temporary staffing.
Are there any questions for Meg or Carl on the board? Seeing none, thank you, Meg.
Thank you so much. Have a good night.
We appreciate you coming. But Meg, I just wanted to ask you, you could stay there. This contract, are there other contracts that are pending before the hospital that are going to be sent over to NIFA, to your knowledge?
For your board approval?
Yes.
At the large amount? No. I don't, at this time, no.
Okay.
This is a large amount. Everything else, I think, was under.
It'll be either at staff level or presented to you.
Okay.
Yes.
But nothing for the board itself?
No, nothing for the summer, there should be nothing for the board.
And when is the next scheduled meeting of the board of the
The
hospital?
next scheduled meeting in September, but I did talk to Chairman, we need one in summertime, so we're in the process of putting one together. I don't know if it's in July or August, but we will have one in July or August.
All right, if I know you.
And we always invite.
Yeah, let
Of course.
Carl know so we can
Of course.
work with you. Thank you very much. Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Any further questions on the part of the board? Seeing none, all those in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? All right, authorization to retain a firm to provide media, communications, and public relations services, and to take related actions. Connell?
Thank you, Chairman. Connell Denyon, Deputy General Counsel. NIFA issued an RFP to provide these services and received 6 responses. The RFP committee determined that the consulting firm of ZE Creative Communications was the best all-around respondent. You are now being asked to authorize the chairperson or his designees to develop a scope of services and to negotiate and execute a contract with ZE substantially upon the terms and conditions contained in the materials, with fixed fees not to exceed $5,000 per month. I'm happy to address any questions you may have.
Are there any questions on the part of the board? All right, just, I want to indicate, just to disclose that I've known ZE and Robert Zimmerman for many, many years. His firm has done work for me in a number of agencies that I've worked on over the years. I just want that. I don't see any conflict, but I do want to indicate that. And Robert, I don't know if you want to say a few words at all?
Well, David Chauvin every now and then lets me come out to a meeting, so it's pretty fun. We would all. We've been with representing NYFA for quite a number of years now. And grateful to do it because the work you're doing right now is so critical in terms of directing, really improving and protecting the finances of this county and putting it on the right path. And I think public information right now is going to be more important than ever before as you make important decisions about the future of Nassau County's finances. So the transparency this board provides and being able to reach out to the media on a consistent basis discussing these issues, I think will be very critical. We're honored to be part of your mission.
Thank you very much. I just want to thank you, David Chauvin, who is not here tonight, but you and David for all the great work. I know that you're going to use this against me at some point. I know, but I want... Huh?
And Ron too.
Yeah, and Ron, who, by the way, I should disclose, Robert's partner, Ron Edelson, and I went to summer camp together. So I just want everything on the record. But I do, in all seriousness, want to thank you for all the hard work you've done on our behalf, and I'm glad it's continuing. Okay, any further comments or questions? Seeing none, well, do I hear a motion to adopt, to approve the contract?
Motion?
John, I'll second it. All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? The motion carries. Now we've got the appointment of a corporate secretary of NYFA. Evan?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So action item 7 is a resolution to appoint a new corporate secretary. After more than 6 years of serving NYFA admirably in this capacity, Kathy Stella will be retiring as a full-time NYFA employee effective July 31st. In an effort to retain her considerable career experience as an office administrator, particularly with coordinating public board meetings and dealing with employee benefits and other statewide programs unique to state authorities, Kathy was offered and accepted part-time employment with NYFA to continue as its chief administrator. We expect her to resume her services after a short break in her employment status. I'd say a lot more flowery things about Kathy, but I'll hold that until, in abeyance until she actually leaves us permanently.
Which you can't seem to do, Evan.
We can't shake her. To preserve continuity of services going forward, I recommend that Kathy's duties as corporate secretary be transferred to John Chiara, who is at NYFA's general counsel. Do you have any questions before you consider this resolution?
No, I just want to say again, it's great to have Kathy here. Kathy was over at Long Island Power Authority. There was a lot of exchanges between LIPA and NYFA, and she's done a fabulous job, and I'm really glad that you're staying on. I think you're a great asset to NYFA. Okay, do I hear a motion to appoint John as corporate secretary, John Chiara?
I make that motion.
Okay,
Second?
all right, seconded by John. Any further comments? All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Okay, now we've got a couple of discussion items, cash basis report and investment report.
Thank you.
Carl.
If you turn to the back of your folder, you'll find a 6-month report of receipts and disbursements that were made by NYFA exclusively. This has nothing to do with the county at all. In the 6 months, our operating expenses are at 52.34%, which is right on target with where we should be in terms of 6 months passing in the year. Salaries and benefits are also at 54%, and most of the other line items we have are under budget. If we look at the control period expenditures, we have Alvarez and Marcel as being spent over budget, but those were expenses that were incurred before year end. We just paid them in the current year. And then the operational audits, we're showing 0 expenditures. However, the operational audits will be starting within the next couple of weeks, and we expect the bills to come in within the next month or so. Can I answer any questions with regards to the...
Just as I've said before, for the record to indicate that I am recusing myself from the operational audit that we're required to do by statute for the Nassau County IDA, Industrial Development Agency, because the time period covered for most of that time I was chairman of that IDA. So I am recusing myself from all matters relating to the operational audit of the Nassau IDA.
Okay. If there are no other questions, we can turn over to the next page, which shows our investments at June 30th. They're all either treasury bills or treasury notes that mature in between October 31st and November 15th, which is the date that we make our debt service payment of approximately $73 million. We have a book value of $44.7 million, and we expect 4 more set-asides to be made, which would be another $28 million, bringing us to that $73 million number. Can I answer any questions with regard to the investments?
Are there any questions by members of the board? Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Carl. That concludes our regular agenda. Rory, now you see for your first meeting how quick this is going to be. It's a good deal, but wait till September, that's all I can say.
Don't get used to it.
Don't get used to it. Exactly. So I'd like to propose that we go into executive session pursuant to Public Officers Law 105 to consider the financial history of a particular corporation and certain matters related to proposed, pending, or current litigation. Do I have a motion?
Motion?
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
Okay, seconded. All those in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? All right, the motion carries. Just 2 quick things. One, we will be in executive session probably for about a half hour or so. I don't expect any votes to come out of that executive session. And the other thing is that the next regularly scheduled board meeting for NYFA is September 17th at 6:30 here at the Marriott. It's possible that we may need to have an emergency, or not that there is an emergency, but that there is a meeting before September. If so, the board and the public will be duly notified. But as of now, the next board meeting will be on September 17th. Okay, we'll be in executive session. Again, you're welcome to wait if you want. If not, we will come back, if for nothing else, than to publicly adjourn. Thank you, and we'll go back to executive session. First, we're going to vote to go out of executive session. Do I hear a motion?
I move.
Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Then I want to vote to adjourn this meeting of NYFA. Do I hear a motion?
I made that motion.
Seconded.
Oh, what a surprise. All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, have a wonderful summer, everyone. We'll see you in September.